News Talk Sports 1340 WJOL. It's time for the Money Talk Radio Show, brought to you by our friends at NuMark Credit Union. Today, flags in, honor flight. Those are two of my favorite things to talk about with our friends from NuMark. We'll do that in just a couple of moments. Hey, I do want to let you know that you can grow your money your way. NuMark Credit Union gives you flexibility with our Pick Your Term CD special. Earn 5.0 APY for terms 3 to 4 months. Let them help you find a term that fits your needs. Call 815-729-3211 or visit a NuMark office near you. And also coming up at the end of the program, we're going to give away a $25 Visa gift card. Compliments of NuMark Credit Union. How do you win it? Well, you listen. And at some point in the next several minutes, we're going to give you the answer to a question that I'm going to ask. And if you are the first correct caller at 815-254-7300, the Turk Furniture Studio Line, you're going to win that $25 Visa gift card. Today, we're going to be talking about flags in, flags out, and honor flights. So we got a couple of major events to discuss. I'd like to welcome to our WJOL studios, Maria Marquez. She's NuMark Credit Union Marketing Assistant. Hello, Maria. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for putting this show together. It's one of my favorite times of year because honor flights have started back up. Of course, we were involved with one last year and something I will never forget. And, of course, flags in, flags out, involved with that for the first time last year as well. Where have I been? Sorry about that. We're going to make it up to everyone, though, for sure. And that's coming up at the end of May. So we're going to get into all of that. Also like to welcome into our WJOL studios from the aforementioned Honor Flight Chicago, Doug Meffley. Hi, Doug. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. It's so great to be here to talk again.
Yeah, you guys have already had one in the books. You got another one coming up in a few weeks.
That's exactly right. First one in the books in April, and we've got our second of 7 scheduled for the year coming up in May.
Awesome. Absolutely fantastic. Also, Finn Rafferty is an Eagle Scout with Troop 318. Hi, Finn. How are you this morning?
Great. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll get to all three of you here in just a couple of moments. But also in our WJOL studios, Wally Chlipala. He's a veteran and board member with NuMark Credit Union and somebody that we've gotten to know very well over the last few years. Wally, thanks for stopping by this morning, bud.
Good morning, Scott.
Thank you. All right. So we're going to start with you. For those that may not know, could you explain to us what Flags In, Flags Out Day is all about?
Yeah, it's the placement of the flags at national cemeteries. In our case, it's the Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery right here in Elwood. And on the Friday before the Memorial Day weekend, this year, of course, it's May 24th, volunteers will gather prior to 9 o'clock because that's when the instructions will be given. And we're going to go out there and we're going to place approximately 75,000 flags. There's 75,000 veterans out there right now. It's more like 74,562, but let's just round it up.
Right.
And then we're going to have to come back on Tuesday at 8:30, Tuesday, May 28th, and remove all those flags. And if you've never been out there over the weekend, of Memorial Day weekend, it's really an impressive sight. Yeah. And also on Monday is their ceremony. It's 11 o'clock is their musical prelude, and 11:30 is the service. Also, because it's Memorial Day weekend, it's about those who have given all. And I talked to Quincy McCall, and we emailed, and she says there are 172 KIA out there.
Are there really?
Yeah, that's the number she gave me. So, but that's what the weekend is about.
Okay.
It's about those.
It's incredible. We got to experience it last year with a live radio broadcast. We understand that's going to happen again this year. It was amazing to see the number of people that came out. Absolutely amazing. Finn, this is where we bring you in because you're our MVP. Eagle Scout Troop 318. It was my first experience last year, so I didn't bring anything. I just assumed I was going to be able to put the flags in. I saw a guy that was doing some electric work, and I bought a screwdriver off him. Okay, I didn't buy it. I said I'd speak about his company on the radio, which is kind of like buying it. But I used a screwdriver to try to get some of the flags in. But you've taken it to a whole nother level, Finn, haven't you?
I have.
So tell us about what you did, bud.
Okay, so for my Eagle project, I created flag placing tools for Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery for Flags In Day. They're used to poke holes in the ground at every veteran's gravesite so that all 74,000 and change can get an American flag to be honored for Memorial Day. My family and I have been volunteering for Flags In for over a decade. So we've come into a lot of issues with flags breaking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still a very big issue when it comes to doing Flags In. It's very not cost effective because just so many of them break. And also a lot of them end up falling down. So my idea was to come up with a big tool to poke holes in the ground to ensure that doesn't happen anymore.
All right. Walk us through the process of developing this tool. Are you a manufacturer by trade? I'm guessing because you're a young man, probably not already.
No, I'm a sophomore in high school.
All right, sophomore.
Well,
So how did you figure this process out, though? I mean, you have to have a little knowledge, a little handiness in your background.
Well, I was a couple of years ago, an older veteran actually ended up coming up with the idea of a flag placing tool. And he ended up giving my family one of the ones that he made.
Uh-huh.
So we've been doing this for a number of years. So I thought that what if I mass produced them to give them out to the rest of the volunteers? So in order to make the tool, I took 3 pieces of rebar and welded them together. Then I sharpened the bottom point that goes into the ground. And then we painted them red, white, and blue.
I saw some of them last year, Wally. They're really cool looking. They are very, very cool looking. What were some of the challenges you had to face? I mean, had to find a place to do this. You can't do something like this in your basement.
Exactly. That was definitely my biggest challenge, was actually finding a place to do the welding. Fortunately, I was able to come in contact with the local 597 Pipe Fitters Union.
Nice.
They have a facility in Mokina that they were able to donate to my project. So we had 2 days. We had a welding merit badge day where we learned the actual skills needed to create the tool. And then the next week, we welded the 100 tools for the project.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Very, very cool. Let's talk a little bit about the partnerships. You mentioned the union, some other collaborations that help play a significant role. Anyone else?
Anyone else? I'd got to say Lowe's. They donated a lot of the paint that was needed.
Good. Fantastic. Finn, well done. Wally, Flags In Day holds significant importance in honoring sacrifices of veterans. You personally, you're a veteran. You were in Vietnam. What does it mean to you, Flags In Day?
Yeah, and actually Memorial Day weekend does has a specific reference because I know names on that wall, you know, and so it is an important day, and it should be remembered as Memorial Day because Veterans Day is also in November.
Right. Absolutely.
And we must not forget that.
Yeah. Finn, what about you? A young man, and I don't know if you have any family members that have served, but why is Flags In Day so important to you and your family? Your mom and dad said, you said they started you on this journey.
I have 4 family members that are laid to rest at Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery. My grandfather, Terry Martin, my great-grandfather, Bill Martin, my great-uncle, Bob Plett, and another family member, George Dennis. When I've been volunteering, I see it as a really nice way to not only remember my family, but also honor those who have risked their lives for this country.
Yeah. Well said, for sure. Finn Rafferty, Eagle Scout, Troop 318. What high school do you go to, Finn?
I go to Carl Sandburg High School.
Sandburg High School over in Orland. Well done, young man. Your parents and your classmates should be very, very proud of you. So thanks for everything that you're doing, and I'm sure I'll see you. Save one of those tools for me, okay?
Will do.
Eagle Scout, that's an eagle.
What's that?
An Eagle Scout, that's an eagle.
An Eagle Scout, that's an eagle. That's right, the Sandburg Eagles. You got it right. All right, so Maria, I want to bring you in here real quick. NuMark I remember when we were talking about doing our Honor Flight videos last year and doing the Flags In broadcast, you guys were all on board, 100% in. So you believe as an organization and as a credit union in honoring veterans. What are some of the other ways NuMark helps give back, Maria?
Yeah, no, we are big in supporting our veterans. We're very thankful and appreciative of them. So anything that we can do to give back is like amazing. So like Flags In, we tried to get NuMark to volunteer and show up. Last year was the first year we did it, and knowing that Finn is creating this tool is amazing because myself, along with other my coworkers, we were struggling. Our thumbs were sore, so we are excited for his project. We had no idea what we were going to expect, so now we are prepared for this year. Yeah. For our veterans, we also do Flags In, flag sales for Memorial Day. We do wreath sales during the holidays, and on our flight, we collect donations. We are currently collecting donations in our lobby and matching to the first $1,500 in donations for Chicago Honor Flight and Lee County Honor Flight for our Far West branches. So we are collecting for 2 hubs, and for each hub, we'll be matching the first $1,500.
Awesome.
So we try to give back any way we can.
And Wally, you're not the only veteran on the board.
No,
there are others.
There's others. There's Ray who's unfortunately not here today, but yes, there's quite a few of us on the board that are veterans.
No doubt. Well, speaking of Honor Flight, we're going to welcome in Doug Meffley from Honor Flight Chicago. Doug, thanks for coming on. I know we talked to you a lot last year, but it's been a year. Could you briefly explain for those who aren't familiar with Honor Flight and the significance in honoring veterans?
Yes, sir. So the Honor Flight movement was born back in the mid-2000s, shortly after the World War II Memorial opened, because by that point our World War II veterans were well into their 80s, and getting to D.C. to see their memorial was challenging based on income and just travel challenges. So the Honor Flight movement was born to get them there. We have since grown to over 130 hubs around the entire country, and we've taken now cumulatively 300,000 veterans to D.C. to see their memorials. And as time has marched on, we are now open to Korean War veterans, and in 2019 in Chicago, we opened up to Vietnam War veterans. And so our flights are primarily Vietnam veterans with some others sprinkled in. And it's evolved into not just a trip to see the memorial and see the wall, but as a way for us as a grateful nation to give those Vietnam veterans specifically the welcome home they did not get when they came back from service.
Yeah, and it is. And you can just see in their eyes, Doug, and I know you've done hundreds of them, but every new group that comes in, you see that fresh, wide-eyed expression on their face, and you know what they're feeling on the inside is nothing but a sense of pride.
It's amazing the words that we hear after these veterans come home. We hear the words closure, we hear the words healing, and you're right, that word pride comes up so often, renewed pride, just not only in themselves and their own service, but in their country and the direction we're headed.
Yeah, what a job you have, man. I know you love it. For those unfamiliar with Honor Flight, let's talk about ways individuals can support. I know Maria talked about donations at NuMark branches, but can you talk a little bit about the ways people can support, and even if people haven't had an opportunity to get in a flight themselves, let's talk a little bit about that process of getting on a list.
Yeah, so the number one way to support not only our mission but our veterans is to make sure that these veterans who served during these war periods, and we're right now honoring World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War veterans, but make sure they know that honor flights exist and that they're eligible and that they deserve this trip to go. So spreading the word as far and wide as possible is the number one way that folks can help us. For veterans to get on our list, it's a really simple process. We have a short 3-page application that's on our website. And again, the only qualifications are that a veteran served on active duty. They don't have to have been in combat or even in country. Every veteran played their role in the war effort, and every veteran is deserving of this trip. So once they get on that list, their clock starts. We unfortunately, with COVID, we couldn't fly for a couple of years, so we're still kind of digging out of a waiting list hole, and it's going to be a couple of years to get to Vietnam veterans who sign up right now. So we encourage everyone to sign up as soon as possible. Get on that list so that we can get you flown as soon as possible.
Doug, can a family member sign up their loved one, or do they have to do it themselves?
A family member can sign up their loved
Good.
one. Oftentimes that comes. We had a veteran on our flight in April who really was hesitant to fly. His wife signed him up. His wife convinced him to go, and he came back and wrote a 3-page letter that's just one of the most heartwarming things I've ever seen. So yes, family members can encourage their veteran to go.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. All right, Doug, any upcoming initiatives or events related to Honor Flight that people can get involved in? I know you do fundraisers.
We do, and we've got a big one actually coming up on Saturday in Wheaton. The DuPage Veterans Foundation is having their annual fundraiser for us out at the DuPage County Fairgrounds. It's from 11 to 3, and DuPageVeteransFoundation.org has a bunch more information and tickets, but it's a really, really fun afternoon, and all the proceeds there go to support mission. Awesome. Absolutely fantastic. Give us a website for Honor Flight, please. We're at honorflightchicago.org. All right, honorflightchicago.org. And I know we have still on our website some videos that we shot. We introduced you to a couple of veterans from the area, one from Manhattan, the other from Lockport, that I still talk to from time to time. Lifelong friends now, for sure. And that was an amazing experience, no doubt. And folks, if you ever find out, when those honor flights are, and Doug, real quick, is it the first of the month? We always fly on a Wednesday,
okay.
And it kind of moves. It kind of shifts based on the month. We try to avoid major holidays. Okay, all right. So usually the first Wednesday of the month. And folks, if you ever get a chance to do it, even if you don't know anyone, you can show up at Midway and see this for yourself and be a part of the welcome home. You will not regret the time that you put in. After all, what they did for us, it's a heck of a lot more of a sacrifice than that. I kind of want to go around the horn here real quick. Finn, kind of go back to you. What message would you like to share with our audience about honoring veterans? You talked about your family members, whether through Flags In or Honor Flight.
I think it's definitely a great. We have to show our fair share of gratitude to all of our veterans. They sacrifice so much for us. And I think at the very least, thanking them for their service when you see them is the absolute bare minimum what we should be doing.
Yep, well said. And Wally, I'll wrap things up with you too. You honor. I see you at Honor Flights. I see you at Flags In. Though we should be honoring you. So you're giving and you're receiving. Why is it so important for you to give when you easily could just receive?
Well, I was very fortunate in my assignment that I was there. I was able to come back. There are many veterans who did not return home to see their families, and that's what Memorial Day is all about, is not forgetting those people. And that's why we started that memorial wall at our credit union years ago. It's a virtual wall. You can take your loved one, if you know they were killed in action or missing in action, put their little biography. Maria, I believe we have it on our website right now, and we play that in our for the month of May, because it is Military Appreciation Month, and we play that in our lobbies so that if you're in there, you see these young men and women who gave all. And also, too, Doug had a good point. Make sure if you ever see a veteran out there who's got a hat on or something like that, go up to him and ask him if he's been on the Honor Flight. You would be surprised how many haven't even heard of the Honor Flight, have not even heard of it.
It's a good idea. I'm going to do that. I see guys with hats on all the time. Yeah, it's a good idea. Hey, you heard about the Honor Flight? Sign up.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Maria, thank you for organizing this today. You did an awesome job. Everything was fantastic. We appreciate your efforts on this.
Thank you. I try to spread the word, because for me, like I said, last year was the first time we did Flags In, first time we worked the Honor Flight, and having a brother myself who's in the military, knowing that I can spread the word and give back is more than enough.
Well said. Maria Marquez, Wally Chlipala, Doug Meffley, and Finn Rafferty. Guys, thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, everyone. We appreciate it. All right, before we let you go, we want to remind you and then give you possibly a very nice prize. Grow your money your way. NuMark Credit Union gives you flexibility with the Pick Your Term CD special. Earn 5.00 APY for terms of 3 to 4 months. Okay? Let them help you find the term that fits your needs. 815-729-3211 or visit a NuMark office near you. Wally gave us the answer right at the very top. How many flags will be placed on Flags In Day? And how many flags are coming out on Flags Out Day? First correct caller on the Turk Furniture studio line, 815-254-7300. Again, that's 815-254-7300. How many flags will be placed at Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery the Friday before Memorial Day? 815-254-7300. First correct caller will win. Good luck and thank you for listening to another edition of Money Talk, brought to you by NuMark Credit Union.